90% of our lives are spent in a car. So, we want to hear your stories. Join us tonight, 9 p.m. and every Tuesday night for Tales from the Driver's Side. We, your hosts, Sean Spencer and I, will be discussing all our stories. See you then. Hey, everybody. This is the show. Let me bring in my guest, Mr. Scott Thaller. And then flash your thing when you want to come in there, Sean. We got a couple of topics here tonight. Let's start out with memories of our family outings. Do you have any good memories, or bad? It can be bad too, of your family outings when you were young.
Talking to me?
Yeah, you're the only one there.
We had a lot of family outings. We showed dogs at the dog shows, mainly Dobermans, and every Friday after school, get home. The first thing I do is load all my clothes and stuff into the motorhome, and we take off for Indiana, Memphis, Tennessee, a lot of different Illinois locations, and we travel most of the night and then get a few hours sleep, and I get up, have to exercise the dogs, and then get ready to go into the ring, put my suit on, get my my beef liver, and baited the dogs in the show ring with them. And that was fun for a while, but it kind of got old because
That's when you were young?
Yeah.
Were your parents and stuff?
Yeah, I had to live in a motor coach with my parents, and I had to drive it sometimes, and it was a 24-foot motor coach, and I was only 17. And I just had my license for a few months, and that was scary, but I never had an accident. And if we had to back into a place or something like that, my dad would do that. So I learned how to do it later on, but wasn't safe then. Then we'd go fishing, trout fishing, and that was fun. But then I had a girlfriend, and I didn't want to go trout fishing anymore. I wanted to do some other kind of fishing.
But your girlfriend didn't fish?
No. She got married.
Served it up.
We found out that when I go, there was like two different girls down there that went down there every week with us. And, Scotty was a dog back then. And, I actually had 3 girls.
Back then.
He found out that even when he was at home, something still smelled like fish. He didn't have to go to the water to get this.
So you were not choosy in your girlfriends. You just whatever.
No, I only chose good-looking girls. I mean,
I'm not talking about looks. I'm talking about their interests and stuff. You didn't want to meet women that had the same interests as you?
No, I wasn't going to marry him. I just wanted to kiss on him and get as far as I could with him. You don't
have to marry them, but it's a lot more fun when you're friends and have something in common,
Yeah, but when you're 17 years old, you're not thinking about.
I did.
I wanted to be I want to be an accountant, or I want to be a lawyer, and I want to marry a woman that's got similar goals in life and all that. That didn't make any difference. It was their looks, and I wanted them to look like Barbie.
Oh my God! You saved that for your show, man.
Yeah,
I know you got a good one going for that. There. Oh,
wow,
Sean, how about you, man? How did your family road trips when you were young with your dad? I know you had some good times with your dad there.
Nothing as exciting as what Scott was talking about. No. I'll tell you that much. My stuff was it was always the same thing. We either go to New York to see my dad's family or North Carolina to see my mom's family. So it was either up or down 95. And like I've told you, Johnny, many times, my dad was one that if we don't need to stop, if we don't need to stop, we're not going to stop. When my little younger brother and sister were coming up, we had the little portable toilet. So we didn't have to stop at all. That's just who he is. I adopted that same thing. So memories for me, honestly, and it's not the same for a lot of people, memories for me were getting like the race, the stuff that you and I talked about, Johnny. How quickly can I get there? How much time can I shave? And there's certain like when I go through Richmond, I love going through VCU, and there's a couple little landmarks that I love to go see. But for the most part, it's that trail, that journey that I love getting there and how fast I can get there. So when I was younger, I don't think there's any that really stick out. I think when I was really younger, my older sister got remarried, and when she got remarried, we had to go up to New York. And as we were going, it was upstate New York, and just on that night, it was just me and my dad, and we drove in the middle of the night. It was snowing, and I'll never forget. Maybe this is where I get my kind of bravery, my bravado when it comes to driving in like any kind of weather. There was no, I wasn't worried, and there was no worry in him. It was just, and it was coming down like New York blizzard.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so he pushed right through it, and we got there, and that's what it was. And for me, that did more for me, like you said, in confidence than anything else. So that, I guess you could say, is my favorite road trip. But to be honest with you, with how much I love road trips, and you know this, just like you, whenever I got a chance to get in a road trip, even to this day, and my dad he can't drive long distances now. But even to this day, if I get in the car and we're going on a road trip, I get that kitty children like excitement, like, yes, here we go. You know? So yeah, I'd say that was my favorite. What about you, Johnny?
I'm mixed, man. I'm both. I had that. All right. My dad was all about the all American road trip where you go out like Route 66 and stop and see all the sites, the largest whatever in the world, and this and that. And we went to Yellowstone a billion times, Grand Canyon, up in Utah, New York State stuff. But he also, when he left the military and stuff, he was a over the road trucker. He had his own rig and shit, you know. So I got that destination thing. We're going to the destination. We don't stop except when we have to, and that's it. You know what I mean? And I got both of those from him. And I love road trips. I love the all American road trip where the family just goes out and you got a slight destination. You ain't got no time limit on it. And you just stop and check out all the sites, man. I love those too. But I also love when I have to go somewhere and just get in the car and drive. That's a great feeling also.
I used to like to drive down Highway 55 going south because we'd always stop at the Uranus Fudge Factory.
Oh, good God!
That is a real place.
I know. I found out about Intercourse, Pennsylvania, and I just had to if that was a real town, and it is.
Oh God. That's what we should have done. One of the especially since Scott's here, one of the craziest places, the craziest named places that you've ever driven to.
Oh, the place where they filmed Silent Hill in Pennsylvania. It's a real place that is continuing to burn underground. It's called Centralia, Pennsylvania. Look it up. I've been there a couple of times. They shut down the graffiti highway though because people, the guy who bought up that area, bought up that town and shit, just made everything off limits. It used to be really fun to go out there and they were allowing people to draw graffiti all over the road and stuff. But Centralia, Pennsylvania, look it up. That was the inspiration for Silent Hill, the movie Silent Hill. That's a cool place to go.
Yeah, Missouri used to be a great place for movies. They made White Palace here. And
Pittsburgh's a great place for that too.
Yeah. Well, Missouri messed up. They can't have any more movies made here for some reason. Something with the governor or something like that pulled some crap. So now they were going to finish Ozark in Missouri, but they had to do it in Alabama, I think it was.
Not even close to the Ozarks. Wrong mountain range, dude.
Well, they took some photos and movie clips from the Ozarks to use in it, but they were filming in Alabama.
Ozarks are some beautiful mountains. If you haven't been through there, man, it's worth the trip.
Oh my God.
Scott,
Ben, you gonna read that?
I feel like I'm a visitor in a retirement home when I watch Giants.
Oh,
Well, that's how you're supposed to
good
feel. All
old Ben.
relaxed. You should feel like you're relaxed and on some medication. There you go.
Yeah, but
No.
Johnny and I do a lot better than Ben does.
Have you seen Ben on a roll?
No, and I don't want to.
Okay, man. So how do you feel like your youth inspired what you choose in a vehicle right now? How do you pick your cars? What do you look for in a car? And
Well,
besides being a free, okay? Not everybody gets free cars, all right?
Yeah, wait a minute. Why are we asking Scott this question first,
Yeah,
Mister? I haven't filled my tank in a half a year.
I bought a lot of cars, believe me, but my first car was a 72 Chevy Chevelle, and it only had 3,000 miles on it. My grandmother was passing away, and she just willed it to me. And then my car that I'm driving now was my mom and dad's car. It's a 2002.
All right, that's aside that, man. When you go out and spend your money to buy a car, if you were to do so, what and what do you choose? What do you look for? And how did your youth influence that?
Well, I liked muscle cars when I was in high school, but I was stuck with my small block 308.
Well, everybody was. Yeah, my first car was a '69 Boss. So.
And it wasn't the color I would have picked out. It was like a lime green with white top.
So does color influence your choice?
Oh yeah,
Well?
yeah. Oh, like it depends. It's like my wife and I were discussing that tonight. It depends on the car, because some cars look real good in white. In other words, don't. And then I think between my wife and I, our favorite color is silver. That's nice. I like black, but I don't like it because it shows all sorts of dirt.
Yep.
And when you wash it and wax it, you see all the streaks. So, I mean, that's important with me to color, but, I see people driving.
All this color talk, I know what the real reason you don't like it, because it's black. You didn't think I could let that one slide, did you?
I was waiting, man.
Well, if I have to drive through East St. Louis, I wouldn't mind having a black car.
Oh my goodness, Scott. Yo, Johnny. Yes, for me, it definitely reminded me of it. My dad so my favorite show when I was a kid was the A-Team. He had that van, but he had it in brown. So he had it with the stripe on the side, with the ladder in the back, and he even had it with kind of like the curtains in the windows and the whole thing.
Was it like that?
Oh,
there you go,
Scott. See, now that would have been a great prize.
It's still wrapped. It's never been opened.
Oh wow!
Great prize for Sean Spencer right there.
Because I would love that. But yeah, no. So for me, I've always wanted, I never was one that got like I loved Hot Wheels and all that stuff, and I was very big into cars, but I never really. I liked Hot Wheels cars. I liked the Camaros. I liked the Corvettes and all that. But I don't know. I just never realistically thought I was gonna ever get any of that. So I got with the things that we had, the things I was close to. And one of those things was we had the van, and I had a cousin that had a Cadillac, So I've always been close to that. 18, must be 8. Oh, Ben, aren't you in that age?
Ben ain't no spring chicken himself, man. And he's had a hard life there in Vegas. So you could put him in our age bracket also.
From what I heard, he doesn't get hard that often.
Oh my God, Scott! This is the wrong
Scott. This is not great, Scott.
Oh, so finish what you were saying there, Sean.
You should read the
So
the Dodgers.
Let Sean finish.
Hold on. Yeah. So basically, it's always been kind of what I've seen in the house, and as far as what cars you've been driving. So when my dad had that, that's one of the first cars I ever practiced driving on. So I knew it felt good. When I sit in that and when I sit in the van, especially I had a friend that had an Astro van, it's that same kind of feel, you know?
Yeah. It's you feel like it's a little piece of your history, man. And I'm the same way. My dad had a two-door Mercury Comet, man, with 3 on the tree, inline 6. That thing was it was a dream car, and that's what I learned how to drive cars in. And I love that car, man. We worked and lived in a fucking lemon grove, and I had a pond. We had a pond where I had a pet gator, but that car, I when I was 10 years old, I got in that thing and got it stuck out there in the lemon grove, and that was, oh my god, my dad was so pissed off at me. But I love that car, man. It was so comfortable, and it would scat too. It would haul ass.
I got a perfect comeback for Ben's last comment, but I can't say it on the show. Even I wouldn't say that.
I doubt that. You got to catch it in the right mood one day. His second car was a Pontiac Le Mans. It looked just like the GTO, the Goat, the Judge, and I loved that car. It had a 350 in it. It was scat. I actually inherited that car when he passed away. It took me 4 or 5 years to actually get that inheritance because of my age. But
he's egging me on.
Get him, Scott. Get him.
Man, I'm gonna get in trouble, Ben. And you're egging me on. I always get in trouble with you. You're saying he found the fountain of youth. I wanted to say you must have found a squirter then.
Well, in Scott's case, Viagra is the fountain of youth. In my case, it's just coffee. Sean's just young. He's made that way.
Coffee is a diuretic.
Sean could be 60 years old. You wouldn't be able to tell.
Coffee is a diuretic, so it's just a piss hard on, not a regular one.
Oh my god! You had to put the on there. Oh, that show's going off the rails. Okay. Family cars.
Johnny, that's a perfect time to sit there and play. You should play his intro or his promo.
Oh, you know what? Here we go. I'm just gonna do that every friggin' time.
I love it.
Rails,
who have any of you guys gotten your dream car, gotten the car that you grew up with? Like, I've never gotten that van, or the Cadillac, but those are definitely bucket list items.
I inherited my dad's Le Mans.
Yeah.
So I kind of did. The first car I bought though was a '69 Boss, which is completely opposite. And I don't regret it. Didn't regret it then. Today I do. After a couple of sports cars, I figured out, man, these are not for road trips. You know what I mean?
Yep.
You can't take a hard suspension car out on a road trip.
I still have dreams about my dad's yellow Cutlass Supreme. I think it was a 442. But I was going to get it, but the engine locked up, and he sold it for $500.
I did have a green van, a Ford Econoline. It was beautiful. It was all decked out, had the TV and all that shit in it, bed. I took that. Me and one of my ex-girlfriends went to Wyoming in it.
Oh my God. She's lucky she came back.
She came back in a hurry. I won't tell the rest of that story.
Oh. Oh. Yeah, no, like I said, I still haven't gotten the one I wanted, but that's definitely touched my heart. It's definitely been one of those. Scott, so you said you used to driving all those the dog trucks or whatever, right? The bigger trucks when you did the dog races.
It was a StarCraft 24-foot motor coach.
Yeah, you never wanted to have that once you quit the dog.
No, my daughter's boyfriend family has a trust and they have a motor coach and they said we could use it, but I just don't trust myself anymore driving something that size, and I think that's a 45-footer.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
wow.
not an everyday driver.
Oh yeah,
That's something you tow an everyday driver with.
After the pandemic, I had a hard time just getting in my Camry and driving, like learning how to drive on the road again.
Oh yeah, makes sense.
I'll tell you what, that's a great car, a Camry. Here's a little. Okay, I was going to break down cars next week, but I'll do this one for you.
Great segue, yeah.
The new Toyota Camrys are fantastic. Their handling capabilities are great. They'll haul ass and they ride so smooth. I told you, I think a couple of weeks ago on here that I was coming back from Baltimore through the Eastern Continental Divide. You've driven through there, right, Sean?
Yeah.
So you know how those roads are. They're all curves and passes and shit. So I looked down at the speedometer. I was doing 125 miles an hour in that thing. I thought I was doing around 75 or 80. It's like, holy shit. But you can get
so
in the zone
smooth,
with that
man.
car. Yeah, you can get in a zone with that car so easy, man. It is a very good, and it looks good. The new Camrys are fantastic looking, man. Now, don't go the smaller one. What's it called?
The Corolla? That's
the Corollas. It don't have room for me. I'm 6'3", so the Corolla, my leg room is just cramped. I couldn't do a long drive in it, but they're nice.
Is it the Corolla?
Yeah, it is.
Because my fiance has a Corolla. That's actually the car I'm driving right now. She has a 2021, and or shoot, might be 2020 Corolla. To be honest with you, but it has the same capabilities you're talking about, where it's you put your foot on the gas and you're getting up there. I'm not saying it's gonna, be faster than those race cars or those cars that are built for speed, but it'll get you up there quick. And then especially when you go on the highway, like you said, Johnny, you don't know that you're doing 80, 90 miles an hour because it's cruising,
No doubt. Yes, it is. Yeah, Toyota makes a very good vehicle. The only problem with Toyota is they're overpriced. You can find an equivalent vehicle $5,000 cheaper. So
you can go to Kia, Hyundai.
Kia, okay, I'm not going to break down a Kia right now, but Kia does make a very good car now, and they used to be a joke. Kia used to be the biggest joke there was, but they've improved their building standards quite a bit.
They ain't no Yugo.
I'm a huge fan of the
Did he just say Yugo? You did not say Yugo on this show, man.
Wow.
Hey, I had a little green Chevy Chevette, and it was no better than a Yugo.
Well, it should be
craziness. Hey guys, I gotta lock up, so I'm gonna hop off real quick and hop back on.
All right.
You said he was gonna lock up some hot dogs?
Lock up the church, hop off real quick to hop back on.
Okay. That's what I used to say to my girlfriend when I let her up.
You said you were locking the church up? Oh my God.
No, hop on and hop off and hop back on.
Don't leave, Sean. Come back here, damn it. Ben, I'll take that as an insult. Thank you.
Yeah, screw you, Ben.
Ben, why don't you get in? I'll send you the link. Actually, I'm going to do it right now.
Ben's sitting there in his underwear. He doesn't want to be on.
I'm going to have to do a promotion for. Damn it, where is Ben? Ben, quit hiding. I'm going to have to do a promotion soon for Nathan Snell. Nate's got some really good shows out there, man.
So are we going to go into the next one and just wait for Sean to say his part?
No, we can slide into the next. Uh, this is the. I don't know how it affects you, but I know when I lived in the cities, right in town, that it is a thing. So, what mode of transportation do you use other than a car, your car? How do you get around? Or even if you just walk a lot, what do you do mostly other than drive when you're getting out and about?
Well, when I was younger, I'd ride my bicycle to the store, to 7-Eleven. Um, we didn't have the Taco Bell that's down the street now, but if I did, I would have been driving to Taco Bell. Sometimes there's like a parade of young men and women going past my house to get to Taco Bell, and then I sit outside and I watch them because when they come back, they're almost done eating and drinking their food, and you know where that stuff goes. I did, Ben.
Yeah, I used to take the buses quite a bit in Lakeland, Florida. I took the buses almost all the time there because it's the easiest way to get from one place to the other. I try to take buses sometimes when I'm in a stranger place, like I don't know the roads that well, and I figure just if I got to go somewhere, I'd take a bus and it'd get me right there. The drawback with taking a bus is the time consumption that you're on that bus twice as long, three times as long as you would be if you were just driving straight and there and back. And I think that's a lot of the things that people don't like about mass transit. I enjoyed the rails too in Baltimore. The rail system in Baltimore is pretty good. Um, I haven't actually been on the rail system here, and they got an awesome rail system here. Uh, I have done the inclines that Pittsburgh has here. They still have the old inclines, the rail car that comes down and stuff. Um,
I used to take.
Bicycles. I rode bicycles. I rode my motorcycle up until I just couldn't because of my legs.
The only
And
time I only time I really took buses when I was out in California. I was staying with my great aunt in her Beverly Hills home, and every day my uncle would give me a bag of
I'm gonna
coins.
start calling you Will Smith.
Yeah, a bag of coins, and was enough to get on the buses and back, get a hamburger and a soda, a couple of drinks during the day. And I'd walk from Santa Monica Pier all the way up to Malibu and back, then get back on the bus and go back to their house and have dinner with them. But that was about the only bus trip. I mean, here in St. Louis, the only bus rides that I had was the bus trips from my home to school, and those weren't always pleasant.
I wish we could have got Anthony on here tonight. I'd like to find out how military transportation is.
But if I'm going to go a long distance, like from St. Louis to California or St. Louis to Florida, I'm taking an airplane. I did too much of that dog show traveling, and
So most of your cross country stuff is on an airplane, right?
yeah. And then my sister-in-law picks us up and takes us to my wife's mother's house, my mother-in-law.
Do you ever think about what you're missing by taking a plane? All the stuff that is really cool that you're flying over in 5 seconds.
No, I've seen the Grand Canyon. I've seen Bryce, Zion. Um,
Zion's awesome.
I've seen the Salt Flats. Uh, just everything. I mean, everything. We traveled Route 66, so we stopped at all the sides.
Devil Tower.
Yeah, and going through. I always thought New Mexico was the neatest place to drive through.
Land of enchantment, man. That's the land of enchantment. That's where I was born.
Yeah, they got a lot of rock formations that are just unreal. You got something that's real narrow, and then you got this great big boulder sitting on top.
When I was a kid, I used to go out and I'd go in cave systems because they're all over the place. You find a little hole, maybe about this big. If you can get your head in it, you can squeeze in there and find it'll open up to gigantic caverns and shit. Man, it used to be so fucking cool when I was a kid. I used to love doing that shit.
Yeah, I've been to Merrimack Cavern so many times. I could find my way in the dark, I think, in there.
Well, I was born in Carlsbad, so we had caverns everywhere, man. It's like tunnel system all under the ground there. All the old volcanic formations and shit.
Yeah. Then over in Illinois, we got the Coquia Mounds, the Indian burial grounds.
There is a lot here in Pennsylvania. So much here. Buttermilk Falls, I go to that quite often. Moraine State Park up in Lawrence or Butler County. Butler County. That's beautiful there. That's where I caught my first muskie there, man. Nasty fish, man. It's like catching a tarpon though. They are such a fighter. And I was used to growing up in Florida, man. I'm used to catching tarpon and shit like that. Tarpon is a fighting fish, man. That's why everybody wants it so bad. And that muskie's the best thing I've ever caught besides tarpon. You know, for the fight, it fought me for a good 20, 30 minutes, man.
Yeah.
For a freshwater fish, that's a hell of a long time.
I used to wrap a fishing line around girls' ankles,
Oh,
and then they run off. And you want to talk about a fight, man? All right, keep talking. It's time for me to take my medication.
Met it up, man. Met it up. Does that make you worse or better?
It makes me sleepy. Does make me kind of happy though.
Okay. So we did mode of transportation. I ain't got nobody talking about it in the chat, so Ben, I guess, is scared to come on.
Ben went to put some clothes on so he could come on.
I sent him the link. He ain't showed up yet.
Come on, Ben. We can have a lot of fun.
I'm about out of topics, man, myself.
Well, you're going to talk about what you look for in a car that you buy.
I think we already did that. Yeah, we've covered the top. Well, I'll tell you what I look for in a car. I look for that mixture of, all right, like I got to have room and space now. So
comfort.
I need, yeah, absolutely have to have comfort. But I want a car that can perform also. I don't want to get stuck on ramp with a lot of traffic and not be able to match their speed before I get to the exit, you know? My Flex has been wonderful vehicle. It is the best vehicle I've ever owned, honestly. It for all-in-one vehicle. It's got the turbo, the EcoBoost, which is amazing. I don't have to worry about whether I can match somebody's speed on the interstate. That's for sure. I test drove a Atlas VW, which was very nice vehicle. And the Bronco I've told you about. I test drove a couple other. I test drove the Toyota Highlander. It was nice vehicle, a really nice vehicle, but it wasn't nice enough for the price tag on it. You know what I mean? The Hondas, I test drove a few of them. The larger vehicles that are capable of carrying my dog, my wife, and me, and our stuff when we go on a road trip. And it was just too cramped. There was no way. The cockpit sitting behind in the seat was just, I felt very uncomfortable in it, you know?
Well, that's what I like about the pickup trucks nowadays. You can get the extended cab, and then you can put...
Yeah, but they're overpriced as hell too, man. A pickup truck was wonderful when you bought it to use it as a pickup truck, because a pickup truck originally was just a cheap way to do off the road shit, you know? Now you don't want to take one of these $60,000 pickup trucks off road. You don't want to scratch the paint job and stuff like that. And that's, to me, I can't invest that kind of money in a truck. I've had trucks. I had a couple of Ford F-150s. I had a Chevy Silverado. I've had a few trucks, man. And in my opinion, I like the trucks. I love the new Fords and the Chevys and the Dodge. Oh, the new Dodges are really nice. But you can't really take them off road, because if you do, you're going to tear it up. You're going to tear up. They're not built for that anymore. They're built to make a statement. And that's why people are buying trucks now, is to say, look at me, I got this truck. And that's not what a truck's for, man, in my opinion. I'm sorry, but that's just how it is.
Just for the sake of the conversation, I'm going to call him my son-in-law. He's not married to my daughter yet, but he just bought a Ram 1500 Havoc TRX, $106,000.
That's just too much for a truck. That's not what they're made for.
702 horsepower, and the wheels are like 3 feet wide.
That's a statement vehicle. That's just a look at me vehicle, you know? If I was going to spend any kind of money on a vehicle, honestly, here's what I would buy. I would probably get a Bentley. If I had a lot of money, I'd chunk up the money for the Rolls, because if you want to make a statement, make the top statement. Those two cars are the top statement in automotive. If you want to get the top statement in a sports car, Pagani or GT30 or fucking Lamborghini, the new Lamborghini. I think it's not the Diablo, it's the Murcielago. Or oh shit. The new Mercedes or the new Porsche. New Porsches, the hybrid, it's not really a hybrid, but it's an electric vehicle with gas motor, and it will go like a fucking bat out of hell. It'll outperform the Pagani or the Lamborghini. Lamborghini is a statement car too. That's one saying, look at me, you know. But if you're really a car driver, you really love to drive and want to handle a car, go for the Porsche. Porsche is the best. The engineering on a Porsche is top dog, number one. Nothing beats it.
Yeah, but you're talking about for your needs. You need something you can put your dog in.
Well, I was just talking about cars in general. For needs, be specific. If you're going to be specific, a truck, it doesn't fit the criteria for the price tag, man. It really doesn't. You can put 800 or 1,000 horsepower in that car or truck, and it doesn't impress me unless you're taking it off road. If it's a pretty truck that you're not going to take off road, then why are you buying a fucking truck? Why do you have big 4-wheel drive tires that cost $1,000 a piece? Why are you doing that for anything other than a statement? If you're not using it as it's meant to be, then you're just wasting its reason.
That's why my son-in-law buys stuff that's like limited edition. There's only so many of these Havoc TRXs made, and they're yellow with black accents, and he buys it that way because
don't get me wrong, I think they're great engineering. I think they're great vehicles for what they are, but they're not being bought for the use that they were built for.
Yeah, but they're good for resale value.
That's my point.
Because some of these things you can get them, like he got it for manufactured suggested retail price, and they were going for like $20,000-$30,000 over asking price. And the guy just had to make a sale. He went down to Florida to get it. I think it was in Tampa Bay. And to
be realistic, I mean, everything's going electric. 2 years ago, you couldn't find an electric charging station for a vehicle. Now they're everywhere. You can go all the way across this country, and there's a charging station within 40 miles of wherever you're at.
Yeah. Well, everybody's got. I see like 20 Teslas go through my street every day.
Yeah. Well, we get them all. We get the BMW electric cars. Everything's you see all that shit here. So
what's that one? That one pickup truck, the Rivian, something like that.
Yeah. I don't know. The Ford made a Lightning that you can run everything off of it. Like you take it to a work site. Now, see, this is what I bet you people that buy this truck aren't going to be using it for what it was made for. But they made it so that you can run all your power tools and shit off of it. But you know how many people some contractors will be buying that car, you know. But then I guarantee you most of the sales will be by people who want to show that, hey, I got an electric truck. You know, I can do this. I can go take it and party with it. Shit, you know, hook up all your amps and shit like that to the truck.
Well, I think
I really don't have anything against that. It's just not me. I'm not. If I'm going to buy something, it's something I want to use every fucking day. You know.
Well, it's like when you and I were teenagers. We were just working off a regular 12-volt car battery, and you go out in the woods or something, and you run a boombox off of it.
Yep.
And a lot of times you wore your battery down. You'd be drinking and forgetting about what was going on. There's Sean.
What's up, Scott? What are you guys talking about? Sorry about that.
We were just talking about going back to current cars.
Engineering and how some cars are built for a purpose, but people buy them for another reason.
Yeah.
Like to show off and
So-
shit. Like the trucks.
Yes.
We were talking about trucks. And they're built for a purpose. They're built for contractors and people in construction. But now that the majority of the people that are buying them are using them just as a showpiece to go on the road, take them out, show off, say, "Look at me, I got this."
Yep.
And it's kind of you see how it's changed the industry because people are building trucks like the Dodge that he was talking about earlier and other things. The Raptor is a fantastic vehicle for off-road. It's great for getting out to places like that. But people are buying it because it's a fucking almost 800, 750, 800 horsepower vehicle that they can show off to people, you know?
Just so they can sit there and rev their engine at the light.
Yep.
And sit here and try to act all big and bad. It's like, get out of here. No,
Yeah,
you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right.
Hybrid too.
Well, it's just like the people that will buy like a Mustang and they're using it for a family car, and you see them going slow on the road. It's like dude, use it for use it for what it's for. I mean, I'm not going to advocate speeding, but at the same time, if I were to get a car that goes 0 to 60 in less than 6 seconds, well, then I'm gonna test that bad boy out. I'm certainly not going to be in a flipping fast or slow lane going the speed limit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and the engineers have made these vehicles amazing, man. They put, like the Mustang, for instance. All American muscle cars used to be live rear end, and that was it. Straight line racing. That was all you got out of them because you could not turn a corner for shit. And now they've got it where the Europeans are buying them because Europeans are saying, okay, America's finally made something that can turn a corner. And the engineering is going into these vehicles, but they're being a lot of them now, not all of them. People do buy them for the purpose that they're made for, but most of the people are buying them as a showpiece to put on a mantle and say, "I got this."
Right.
Yeah, I was hoping Ben would come in, but I guess the line at McDonald's was really long tonight.
I sent him the link. I told him put up or shut up. Damn it. Keeps wanting to talk about old people.
He's a keyboard warrior. He likes to sit behind the keyboard and talk smack.
I really wanted to know. I mean, I know Ben drives to work and stuff, but what's the alternate modes of transportation in Vegas? When I was there, it was just cabs. I don't know if I know they have buses, but I don't know nothing about them. I don't know if they have a rail system or nothing.
Probably have Uber.
Well, everybody's got Uber, man.
If it were me and I didn't have a lot of money, I'd be flagging down Amazon trucks going my way.
That's hilarious.
You heard him admit it, right, Scott? I mean, Sean, he just said if he didn't have a lot of money. That means he has a lot of money.
Didn't have a lot of money.
The rich guy.
Wow.
No, I didn't say a lot of money. I said if I didn't have the money. If I didn't have the money.
Scott.
You're recorded, Scott, good. I can always fact check.
Right. Scott, hey, this show needs a sponsor, Scott. Put up some of that trust.
There you go. This show has been sponsored by Scott Thaler and
Scott's Tots. Oh.
Maybe Alex ALEC Bookie can be a sponsor.
He's making a lot of money off Alec, I guess. Oh, I don't know now. Boy's working his butt off. He just got a promotion, which they've just cut promotions in the military. So he got in there under the hair of his teeth, man.
Well, your friend Canada is on an exotic trip somewhere, so Maybe he can afford to sponsor us.
Alex works for a living, man. Get out of here.
No, I'm talking about the ex Tampa Bay Buccaneer, Canada.
Oh, James.
Yeah.
James is in it is a own thing, man.
Or maybe Jim Melvin can sell his books on here.
Jim's been around. I don't know. I should actually ask him about his road trips. I bet he's got some good ones. John, what else you got, buddy? We should start running a car Jeopardy in here. So if you were going out today to buy a car, Scott,
yeah,
what vehicle would you be looking at the most?
Well, there's a couple cars I'd like to have. Subaru WRX STI, but my wife wants an automatic, and there's no sense in having a car like that unless you drive a stick shift.
Right.
And, there's some cars that I kind of wish I could have, like Hellcat Red Eye. That'd be cool to do, but I'd probably get so many tickets.
You realize how stiff those suspensions are, right?
Yeah, but I mean, you probably don't feel it. You're going so fast. You're off the ground.
No, you feel it. Trust me. You feel it. I there's no way I'd drive any sports car anymore. Not unless it was like I said, the Bentley Continental. That car has 800 horsepower, man. It will fly, but you won't feel it. It's the quietest car in the world, man. That and the Rolls. The Rolls is you can't hear shit outside that car. When you shut that car, it's like still in a tomb.
Well, I know Jeep has some SUVs and some other vehicles that are like 707 horsepower.
Jeep's getting better. Their rides are still, and it's their starter system bothers me. I don't like it. It's got a bunch of shims in the starter, in the solenoid, and if you got added material in there, it's always going to go bad on you. You know what I mean? And they're not cheap to work on either. From my point of view,
they don't make anything cheap to work on anymore. I mean, used to be when I was a kid, you get in a car, you could do just about anything. Do the tune-ups, change the oil pump, water pump, distributor caps and wires and spark plugs and all that. Nowadays you got to take half the engine out just to change the oil. Is that an open container?
I'm gonna send Sean one of those camera holders.
Yeah, I need it.
Like I got.
Nice save, Sean.
Best $30 investment I ever made, man.
I need it, man. I definitely need it. But I have a Fold. I have a Galaxy Fold, so mine opens up. So I need a different kind that actually goes with my phone.
How do you like that phone?
So you guys, I love it. I love it. I think the biggest complaint people had was they didn't think it was a phone that you can use day to day. Everything that I do with YouTube, with LTF, with all my stuff, any editing, anything, I do it with this phone. And because both my parents have glasses, my grandparents, both of them have glasses, so sight is an issue in my family. So I need everything major. I need everything, like all the font super huge. Me being able to look into this, like just how big it is, it's like a mini tablet. You know what I mean? It's worth it. Now you see all these other companies trying to come up with the foldable phones and all that junk now. But it's worth it. For me, it's worth it. I got the first generation and the third generation. And both of them are legit.
Do you know what happened today?
No, I haven't.
The first iPhone that was made for sale. Remember how they didn't sell worth a shit because nobody trusted them?
Oh, yeah.
They kept reducing prices, and then they took it off the market like a month after it went on the market.
Mm-hmm.
That iPhone sold for $180,000 today.
Wow!
I might have that one in my house. How do I find out what model number it is?
I wish I still had my first generation iPod Touch, and it was the first one where you can use it over, like you can make calls over Wi-Fi without even having to have like a cellular service. I mean, you just had that Wi-Fi. I used that thing for everything, even before I had a real phone. Oh, those were the days. Everything was so simple.
Landlines. Scott, you
Yeah.
still got a landline, don't you?
No, I got rid of it last year.
Did you?
No, Scott.
Saves me $50 a month.
If you have a landline right now, the only thing you'll get on that landline is spam calls. It'll be a constant barrage. Boom, boom, boom. Every call will be that.
Well, you talk to me all the time and my phone rings. And what do I get on my cell phone? Spam calls.
Yeah.
That's true, too.
And basically, no one calls me except for my wife. My daughter doesn't even call me. She wants to give me a message or something. She calls my wife, and then my wife has to call me.
That's another thing. Nobody talks to each other anymore. It's all text. That's true. This is your generation, Sean.
Well, you know what? I hate that I'm coupled in with that. It's towards the end of my generation because, I remember my generation, which is early 80s. We're the last one with the landline, last one before internet. We didn't have any of that stuff growing up, but then we've gotten it all during our lifetime. But I'm not you see me, I love talking to y'all.
Yeah.
But that's definitely not everybody.
Lost art, man. I think it's social separation because
it is.
You don't get that personal touch when you're texting. It's just like it's zombie. And you see people on their phones constantly doing that. And I do it. We know Scott does it.
Oh, yeah, well. But it's true.
I don't text.
The message board, Scott.
Yeah, you do mess. Yeah, I was about to say, Scott. Yes, you do. You message.
Yeah, but not on my phone.
Oh, that's right. Yours is on your computer.
Yeah, I don't do Facebook on my phone. I don't even have the app on it.
Whatever you do, don't use your phone while you're driving.
Well, I would like it if more people, would start, communicating with each other like that a little bit more.
Yeah, I don't have a Bluetooth.
I mean, within families themselves, man, because I don't talk to my nieces or my nephews hardly at all anymore. We used to talk on the phone constantly, and that's just something that it's a lost art, I think, communication.
I agree.
I talked to a girl up in Hillside, Illinois, a girlfriend of mine. We got in a fight, and I was worried about her. I talked to her for 8 hours, and this was back in like 74, and I got a $1,200 phone bill.
I can imagine. 8 hours. What did you guys talk about for 8 hours?
Remember those collect calls? Oh my God.
You accept the charges? It's like, yeah.
This is a Pittsburgh State Penitentiary. Will you accept the charges?
Don't do it. Don't do it.
I used to love when they did 1-800-COLLECT.
Call collect. Oh. Hey, Scott.
Yeah.
I need some bail money, man. Come on, dude. We got a show to do.
You need some great Scott?
What about?
I swear I didn't run over that chicken.
Let's see who can put down Ben more, and maybe we can get him on here.
That's all you guys. Ben and Alec have made my poster a target. I'm not coming after either. And Ben's team is kicking my Orioles butt 10-2, so I'm definitely not leaving him alone.
Sean, I'll have to discuss this with my wife, but I have something that you would fucking love, dude. I have a Baltimore Orioles diorama that her brother made when he was younger, and it just hangs around here. We don't really pay attention to it, so we might be getting rid of that soon. Might ship that off to you. Because you're the only Orioles fan I know of besides I think Nathan's an Orioles fan, ain't he? And silence.
You're leaving you hanging.
Crickets.
That's my.
Did you hear me, Sean? I don't think you can hear me.
Nope, I can't. What's up?
How can you answer the question if you can't hear him?
Say the question again. I couldn't hear you.
I said I have a diorama that my wife's brother made. It's a ball.
You say you have diarrhea?
Oh my God.
The Great Scott.
Great Scott. I didn't have my finger on the button.
That's why I always wear an adult diaper in case it has.
Oh, okay.
Oh, Dad. Sorry, that's my fault.
That has to come out.
No, a diorama of.
It's a diorama of the Baltimore Orioles, man. It's
Oh,
got some really cool shit in there.
oh,
I
sweet.
had what's the guy's the pitcher? What the hell's his name?
Jim Palmer?
No, their biggest star. He's retired.
Who, Musina?
No.
Jim Palmer was our big guy from the 80s. He's the one who got our last World Series.
No, but this guy is like royalty to the Baltimore Orioles. I cannot think of his name.
He's recent, or is he far away?
Far away. He's a junior too. Or maybe he's senior.
When did he play?
Oh, if my wife was sitting here, I could ask her because she's the Baltimore fan. Anyhow, his ball's around here, so it was around here somewhere. But Spirit got it. It was autographed and shit. And Spirit.
Oh, nice.
Oh, my dog.
Oh, Spirit did. Oh,
Yeah.
like oh.
My old dog's still holding my Babe Ruth signed ball.
I have one in glass somewhere around here too. It's autographed. I don't know who it was.
I have a Sandy Koufax signed baseball.
Sandy Koufax.
Yeah.
That's a name that I know. How Scott, did you ever make road trips to any of the games? Have you ever been on a road trip to a game?
Yeah, from St. Louis County to St. Louis City to see the Rams play.
Yeah, how was that?
How was it? It's only 18 miles.
Tailgating and stuff, dude. Come on.
Oh, yeah. The tailgating was great because we were on a church lot called St. Patrick's, and the Lombardis were restaurant owners that were friends with my friend's parents, and they would bring shrimp, lobster, roast beef, ham, anything. I mean, there was just gourmet stuff on the table, and there was a couple other restaurateurs down there too that were in there, and people would walk by us and they'd look at us, and then it'd get back to some of the opposing team players because the buses were right across the street, and they'd walk around, and my guys would give them beer and food and all that, and they'd walk over to the truck. I forgot the one guy who played for the New York Giants. Huge guy. I guess he was an offensive lineman, but they gave him a towel and they wrapped 6 long necks in it, and they gave him a big Tupperware of food, and he got on a bus, and you could hear them all in there. Where'd you get that?
The Lombardis.
Yeah.
The Lombardis.
No, not the Lombardi Trophy.
Okay, you should emphasize that when you started out, because I was going to say this is one of those stories we could do the truth or not.
Oh, we used to have a lot of hockey players come down to our tailgate from the Blues.
Brett Hall?
No.
That was my guy.
I forget their names now. They were both enforcers. They weren't that great of players, but they would start the fights and finish them.
Yeah, Brett Hall was my guy, man, back in the day. St. Louis Blues. It's my favorite hockey team, actually. So, hey, I do like something about St. Louis.
And you do care that we don't have a football team anymore.
I do care about that, yes, because I think it's a travesty.
What's a travesty?
No football team in fucking St. Louis.
Oh, yeah, they need to bring it back. Got a championship out there.
Just don't name them the Rams again. Don't fucking just change. Come up with a different name, because the St. Louis Arches, something. You know what I mean?
The real question is, would Scott root for them?
I think he would. I think
I would, unless they played the Rams.
the people in St. Louis really support their team. So I think once Scott had a team in there that he could support, he'd probably drop them fucking Los Angeles assholes with the fucked up owner.
Oh,
Well, I root for the Kansas City Chiefs too. I mean, when my Rams aren't in it, the Chiefs are it.
notice that.
You know, like I've always said, the AFC team is the Chiefs, and my NFL team is the Rams. You can have both.
Would you support? Would you be all in on your St. Louis team if you got a new one?
Well, as you know, I'm 68, going to be 69 soon, and I've had my day with the greatest show on earth. I'll always remember it, and I was pleased that Los Angeles finally got their Super Bowl. But I feel for the kids. The kids growing up now, they don't have a football
This
team
is the
here.
problem, I think, that you've gone a couple of generations and the kids are all either St. Louis fans or found other fans. And it might be hard for you guys to, I don't know. You supported the Battlehawks pretty well.
Well, the thing is, I mean, a lot of them, I mean, they'll transition because a lot of them don't remember. I mean, Scott, you do, but a lot of them don't remember when the Cardinals were in St. Louis, and not the baseball team. I'm talking about, the football team. They had some rough years, but they had some stars on that team. But the Rams definitely brought you guys into prominence. But I mean, I think who knows if we'll see it, but if the Rams and the new St. Louis team made it to the Super Bowl, that might be a dilemma for you, man.
I'd ask you this. I'm going to ask you this, Sean, because you are the tailgating king. You go to all kinds of games, dude. So, what was your best trip ever to one of the games? Tailgating and you got to include the tailgate and all that shit too.
See, okay, well,
and it can be a college team. It can be a college team too.
Well, that's a different story. There'll be two then, because my best game that I ever went to was my dad took me to my first not my first Orioles game, but he took me to an Orioles game, and it was him with all of like the big wigs, all his business partners. We got free tickets, so we were coming along with, and so they're all sitting there. I was the only kid to go, and so they're all sitting there chumming it up, talking, they're drinking their beers, and some girl and I'm like 11 or 12, but I was fresh, I was wet behind the ears, everything. This girl comes up, and I see these two girls over there talking. They're looking at me, and they're trying to do that. And so this girl comes up to me, and she's like, "Do you have a cigarette?" And I was like, "Nah, I don't smoke."
Oh man! Do you have a cigarette after? My God, your profile picture, dude, with your dad.
Oh, that's right. Which is exactly. Look at exactly. So, but I was like, "No, I don't." Now, but then my dad. So then once she walked away. So my dad and all of them were like, "Oh snap! What'd she ask you? What'd she ask you?" And then I was like, "Oh, she asked me for a cigarette." And he was like, and my dad was like, "Oh, that was just a bluff. She was just trying to get you to get some interaction out of you." But I was so timid that I was like, "No, I'm fine." So that was my favorite. I don't even remember the game, anything. I remember that moment. My favorite tailgate. Actually, I'd have to say this past year, Catherine and I went to Michigan State in East Lansing with a close friend of hers that she had grown up with. Her daughter is in the marching band, so we got to walk along with the marching band and see it before the game and then after the game. And then they also have a son who's like a lot younger, but he is huge in like doing the type of stuff that we do. Like, the guy I always work with, Dylan Walsh, he's similar to that, where he's like an encyclopedia. He knows all this stuff. So that game was so much fun. It went to overtime. Michigan State didn't win many games last year, but they won that one against Wisconsin. But we got there. They were grilling. It was my fiance's friend's husband's birthday, so obviously the drinks were flowing. It was just an overall great atmosphere. And in my opinion, if you're tailgating, there's nothing better than the leaves falling, crisp, cool in the air. You got smoked meats, smelling that everywhere. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Man, you're a painting picture, bro.
Oh yeah, I love it. That's why Alex and I on the college show get so excited about that time of the year. The football is great, yeah, but there's so much more.
The best, okay, yeah, I'm like that too. I got two road trip things. One, Okay, my dad got me into football young. We always watched the games on TV and shit. But what really hooked me, because I was just blasé, I'll go out there and practice with my dad because of my dad. You know what I mean?
Right,
And
right.
what really hooked me though is he took me to a Houston Oilers game, and
Ooh, love you blue.
I got to see Earl Campbell run, and I was
Wow.
and it wasn't the game where you see his jersey getting all ripped up and shit.
Yeah.
But he got his jersey ripped up in this game too. I mean, they
Was it
just
that game
could
against the
not stop.
Rams?
No, it was against Dallas actually. And until then I'd been kind of a Dallas fan, but then I was like, "Oh, that's Earl Campbell, man. Screw that. This guy's the shit." You know what I mean? And that got me into football because we didn't have a team in Florida except Miami, you know?
Yeah.
And everybody in Florida had to support Miami, and it was like, not really. I ain't feeling it from Miami, man. So I went from a Dallas fan to a Houston fan. I bounced around, you know. That's why I like all the teams.
Oh yeah.
But oh, I want to ask a question that's like one of Alex's trivia.
What is it?
Name a quarterback that played for Seattle Seahawks and the Tampa Bay Bucks.
I don't think Kitten
I actually think there's two, but I'm not positive about the other one.
Did Dilfer play for Seattle? Halfback. You'd have to go back some years.
That's another trivia question. That too,
That's a good one.
Fitzgerald?
Okay. The answer is Jim Zorn.
No, our old coach. That's another thing. I was thinking him, but I was like, I didn't know if he played for Tampa. Wow.
I didn't know that until today. I was like, whoa. And the other trivia is who's won the most? Which quarterback has won the most games for Tampa Bay? Who would you say?
Tampa.
Ryan Fitzpatrick.
I love Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Who has been there the longest? I think that'd be the thing. You guys have had a number of different quarterbacks.
Well, it's definitely not Baker Mayfield.
Well, I'll tell you now, we've never really had a franchise quarterback. None of our quarterbacks made a second contract except for Brady, and that was more like an extension or whatever.
My thought would be either Brady or like Brad Johnson or something.
Brad was only with us for 3 years. Trent Dilfer has won the most games with Tampa than any other quarterback. And he finished 50-50. You know, he finished at 500. So
Trent Dilfer, man. God, I remember that when I was younger, they used to say he's got more interceptions than he does in his age. Trent used to. I
got something for everybody, Sean. Sorry, I got to do this, but I made that comment earlier about you and your dad and the girls talking about smoking. Here's why they asked Sean if he smokes.
Yeah.
Look at his dad, man. Now that's a ladies' man. That's right there. He's killing it, buddy. And who is the girl? Do you know?
I don't know who that is. I don't know.
He was flying.
My dad doesn't remember. Yeah.
Really? He didn't remember?
He didn't remember. Or maybe he didn't remember in front of my mom. Oh, because I definitely asked the question in front of her.
So. There's definitely a family resemblance, and I can see if you was out there in the game with your dad, man, you were probably killing it with the ladies.
I was doing it. The funny thing, everybody, I think some of the other guys in the group were smoking. I think that's the funny part because that's how my dad knew that they weren't really after that. Because at that point my dad still smoked. So
I was always quick-witted when a girl asked me to smoke. I said, I don't smoke, I don't have a cigarette, but when you go back to my room, I got something else you can put in your mouth.
Oh my God!
Here he goes.
Oh, what the hell did he just do? Time. Okay, man. I guess we've kind of chilled out on the car talk. This went
talks about everything else but cars.
Yeah.
Well, I'm waiting for Johnny to buy his new car. Let me know how it is before I buy mine.
Okay, I'm going to ask you. You buy a car today, Sean.
Mm-hmm.
What car are you looking at?
Does he have to be able to afford it or just any car?
Yeah.
Any car.
Any car?
Well, give me any car, your dream car right now that you would want to drive every day. These gotta be everyday cars, not just a specific car, just an everyday driver.
So if I wanted to drive an everyday car, I'm gonna tell you. You were talking about it. I had a Altima. I had Nissan Altima, and I got rear-ended, totally messed up my whole trunk. And their insurance, I got a rental car through it, and the rental car I got was a new top of the line Kia Optima. You were talking about those Optimas.
The Kias, yeah.
They are this new one. It had all the bells and whistles. And as far as driving long distance, driving every day at work, that is what I would want. If I want a dream car, honestly, obviously the 18 van is great. I
love vans, dude. I love vans. I really do, but
I love that. If I could have that one, but part of me is stuck kind of in the early 90s and all the LA rap scene and everything. I would love to have a car, just one of those Cadillacs with like the hydraulic set,
with the 21s and shit.
Yeah, all that. Like, I would love to have that as my person. But as far as my day to day, I love right now I drive a Hyundai Elantra, 2016. I've had that joint since 6-7 years and paid off everything, and I really haven't had many issues with it because I've kept up with it. But yeah, that Kia Optima, I think if I could get I've seen a couple, I've driven them, I love it, and I think if that's my day to day, yeah, I would love to have that.
Hey, give Alex Schomburg some love.
All Alex Schomburg wants to talk about is off-topic shit, man. He always comes in with this, hey, it's a baseball game crap. I don't care,
Alex. Yeah, we got crushed, Alex. You're right. Alex, I would love for you to say something nice to me one day. Because you just come.
Man. I'm going to make you.
We got killed. It was 10-2. We gotta run in the 8th. All right, Alex.
Move your ass to Baltimore, man. Alex.
Well, it could be worse. You could be the St. Louis Cardinals.
Oh.
Alec is running from the Northeast to South. He wants to live in Florida now. So
I was in Norfolk this weekend, Alex. Alec.
Were you?
Mm-hmm. Kat wanted to go to she wanted to do a little something because since she was dealing with her help take care of her dad for her birthday. So Kat's birthday is July 3rd. So
I think we said happy birthday to her on the show, didn't we?
Yeah, oh yeah, we did. We did on the show. We were live. So actually, because we said it again, and actually Scott and we said it too, because I think we went on that Monday. That was the pandemic episode. So she wanted to go. She loves the water. She's grown up in Michigan, grew up on lakes, so she's a huge water person. So we went out there, and I mean, you guys saw the videos. I let my hair down, if at all possible. It was a fun time. But it was definitely that. You want to talk about road trips? I'm glad we weren't live on that day because I was cussing everybody out. She did not.
Oh, that would have been the perfect day. Like when I was coming back when I was coming back from Delaware, I was the same way. I was like,
we need to do
show, man. We was the perfect show.
We need to do that for road trips. Maybe not necessarily go live, but maybe just record. Have our significant other record us and just because
Well, see, that's the brilliant thing about my phone holder, man, because I can just click it on. I'm driving and recording at the same time. So yeah, $30, man. Best $30 I ever invested.
I don't yell at people. I just use American Sign Language.
I do everything.
Oh,
I do it all.
And if they really made me mad,
it works. Oh, no hands on. What kind of car do you have, Scott?
I think 2002 Toyota Camry.
Yeah, that's what got me talking about the Camrys, man, because they weren't that okay. The 2002s were that more of a boxy shape. I can't describe it like a shoebox.
Yeah,
but they were a good car. They really were. They just didn't fit me at that time.
I had a '96 Camry, and I had that thing for about a good 4 or 5 years. Ran that thing around. It was a burgundy color with a gold stripe around it.
I think that all Camrys were burgundy at first, man. It's like it's the most popular color car they ever made, I think.
It was a great car, but that thing ran up and down the road from here in New York, back here in North Carolina, Pennsylvania. I loved that car, loved it. So much respect.
Well, I only have 47,000 miles on mine.
Well, do you get chauffeured places, or you just don't go anywhere?
Well, during the pandemic, the last 3 years, I think I filled my tank up maybe 3 times.
Well, you are retired as well, so.
Yeah. I didn't drive very far anyway, so the only thing is your tires dry rot because they don't get moved. And
oh, yeah.
I had to put new tires on. Exhaust system goes bad because you don't blow the water out of the exhaust system. Replace catalytic converters. I did that last year. Coming up March, I have to get my license plates renewed, so got to go through that again. And it seems like 2 days before I'm supposed to get my tags, the check engine light comes on.
Oh, yep. I've been dealing with that same thing. I think I told you about that, Scott.
Yeah. So I go to AutoZone.
That your car?
Mm-hmm.
That's a 2002 Camry right there. It's got that shoebox design.
Mine's tan color.
But the first image that came up when I checked, burgundy.
Yeah. Mine was a little. It wasn't that rosy. Mine was maybe a little more rusted. Yeah. But it looked similar, and then it had the little spoiler up top on the back.
He had the black version of Starsky and Hutch's car.
Oh my God!
He had the gold stripe all around it.
I'm just glad he said black and not colored.
There you go.
What's that? American, what is it, ACAAP or something like that? That's got color in it. That's got
God. Because when it was made for the National Advancement of Colored People.
Yeah, but they had to change the name of the Washington Redskins to the Commanders. Why don't they change the name of that?
Because it's not just black people, Scott.
There you go.
It's all different colored. It's black, Latino, Asian, all those different colors.
Minorities.
Jewish.
I mean,
you're a minority. You should have some representation in there, but you do have a representation. You do have
we love you, Scott.
The Jewish Foundation, or what's the name of that?
Yeah.
See, I'm screwing it up like you did the NCAA. NCAA, come on.
Is he right? Might as well be.
I can't believe I just
NAACP.
Okay. I showed you the old Camry, right? Here, the 2002.
Yep.
Now look at this.
Wow, yep.
That is a nice car. This is the 2023 version.
Is that the XSE?
I don't know, man. No, it's just the Camry. It's not the S. It don't have the model on there.
It's got the.
That's what I drove. That's what I drove from Baltimore back that time when I was hitting 125 miles an hour.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
That thing handles like a dream, and it rides so good. That was what surprised me because it's a sports. It looks like a sports car. Okay, They run them in NASCAR.
Yeah.
So I expected a hard ride, a stiff suspension and shit. Nah, dude, this thing was smooth. It was smooth.
You can tap the gas, tap that brake, and it responds so well. Matter of fact, with I have to be very careful when I'm backing out because you could honestly whip that thing back out because it just rides out like you said, it's so smooth and it handles so well. So yeah, I agree.
Yeah, the engineering on that car is amazing. It handles. It's flat. There's no roll. The body roll that you expect on them hard curves going at speed. That thing just right around.
Is it just me, or I don't do it very often, but every once in a while it scares the shit out of me. Like when I'm backing out of my driveway and I see somebody coming and I'll hit the brake and my foot will slide off the brake and hit the gas.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you, Sean, for being a friend. That's what,
Yeah,
I love
the
that
Shady
shirt,
Pine.
man. I gotta
Not
get
just you, man. Yeah.
It's really scary when you do that in your postal vehicle and you're in a mailbox and the guy's parked.
Tell us about that. Oh my God,
Yeah.
we're missing a whole
We really
topic
are.
here with
We
Scott
could do
and
a whole show
postal
on that.
vehicles, man.
Well, I got an idea
Is
for a
it-
show though. It's like
Wait. We are still live.
okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay, but I am going to cancel it because we've been on here an hour and 20 minutes. I don't know if we've accomplished anything, but we've been on here.
You gonna play my promo?
I'm gonna throw up some promos, and then we're gonna cut the show. Hey there. 90% of our lives are spent in a car. So we want to hear your stories. Join us tonight, 9 p.m. and every Tuesday night for Tales from the Driver's Side. We, your hosts, Sean Spencer and I, will be discussing all our stories. See you then.
Hi, this is Scott Thaller, the host of Great Scott, coming to you on Wednesday nights at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. We'll be talking about life's little mysteries and other subjects. So please join me. See ya.
I love that life's little mysteries thing, man. It's like he's kicking a dance in there, man.
I was accentuating life's mysteries. Yeah.
All right. We're gonna end the show on that. Don't forget us next Tuesday night. We'll be here. We'll try to lock in some targets. I think we're going to change the schedule though. I think we're going to go 9:30 or 10 on it. So we'll see.
Okay.
See you guys
I'll probably
later.
be back.
Oh, it's Sean. Oh, let me get this off first.